The dense canopy of the forest enveloped the hiking trail, casting an eerie gloom as the girl and her boyfriend retraced their steps in search of a precious ring lost during their earlier excursion. The fading daylight added a sense of urgency to their quest, the shadows lengthening ominously beneath the thick foliage. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, the rustling leaves and distant calls of unseen creatures formed a haunting symphony. The air, once filled with the playful sounds of nature, now carried an undertone of foreboding, a testament to the mysteries that lurked within the heart of the forest. In the distance, an unsettling sight caught their attention. A creature, monstrous in size and obscured by the dim light, gripped a grizzly bear in its massive jaws. The girl and her boyfriend, frozen by the grotesque tableau before them, exchanged wide-eyed glances, their search for a lost ring momentarily forgotten. The creature, its form partially shrouded by the encroaching shadows, seemed to embody the supernatural essence of the wilderness. Its eyes gleamed with an otherworldly luminescence, and the grizzly bear's struggles proved futile against the creature's relentless grip. A palpable tension hung in the air, a silent acknowledgement that the forest harbored secrets far beyond the realm of human understanding. Despite the macabre spectacle, curiosity mingled with fear as the couple watched the creature, a predator of the supernatural realms, assert its dominance over the formidable grizzly. The eerie silence that followed the creature's triumph heightened the sense of dread that permeated the secluded trail. Determined to resume their search, the girl and her boyfriend cautiously continued along the winding path, their footsteps muffled by the fallen leaves. The forest, now a labyrinth of shadows and secrets, seemed to close in around them, its ancient mysteries whispering in the rustling leaves. As they ventured further, the encroaching darkness heightened their awareness of the supernatural forces at play. Whispers, carried by unseen currents, seemed to beckon them deeper into the heart of the wilderness. The lost ring, now a secondary concern, became a mere pretext for their unwitting journey into the unknown. The girl and her boyfriend, ensnared by the forest's enigmatic allure, pressed on. The haunting echoes of the creature's conquest lingered in the air, a reminder that the boundaries between the mundane and the supernatural had blurred within the confines of the ancient woods. Guided by a strange compulsion, the couple ventured deeper into the heart of the enchanted thicket, the forest closing in around them like a living entity. The air, thick with an otherworldly energy, seemed to hum with the secrets of centuries, each step drawing them further into a realm untouched by the laws of the mundane. As they pressed on, the trees overhead intertwined their branches, creating a natural canopy that obscured the waning sunlight. The girl's search for the lost ring became a distant memory, replaced by an unspoken understanding that they were now guests in a realm where the supernatural held sway. The trail, now obscured by the encroaching shadows, led them to a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center of the glade, a pool of moonlight illuminated a forgotten altar, ancient symbols etched into the stone surface. The whispers that had guided them grew more insistent, urging the couple to approach the enigmatic site. As they stood before the altar, a presence stirred in the shadows. The creature, having feasted on the grizzly bear, materialized like a specter from the depths of the forest. Its eyes, now fixed on the couple, held a strange mixture of curiosity and recognition. In an unearthly voice that resonated through the clearing, the creature addressed them, revealing itself to be a guardian of the ancient woods, a sentinel tasked with preserving the delicate balance between the supernatural and the mortal realms. The grizzly bear, it explained, had been a sacrifice meant to appease forces that threatened to breach the forest's protective veil. The lost ring, a mere token of the couple's entry into the sacred domain, had unknowingly initiated a ritual that bound them to the forest's enigmatic powers. The creature, sensing an inherent connection between the girl and her boyfriend and the ancient energies that pulsed through the woods, offered a choice: embrace the forest's secrets and become its guardians, or leave and forever be haunted by the mysteries they had glimpsed. As the couple grappled with the weight of their decision, the enchanted thicket seemed to respond to their dilemma. Vines curled around their ankles, and the moonlit pool shimmered with an otherworldly intensity. The forest, an entity with a consciousness of its own, awaited their choice. In a moment of profound understanding, the couple chose to embrace the forest's secrets, becoming guardians of the ancient woods. The creature, acknowledging their willingness to safeguard the delicate balance, bestowed upon them a gift, an amulet that would channel the forest's energies and connect them to the supernatural forces that dwelled within. As the amulet glowed with an ethereal light, the couple felt a profound transformation taking place. They were now intertwined with the enchanted thicket, their destinies forever linked to the mysteries that pulsed through the heart of the ancient forest. The old lady, a guardian of the eerie forest's secrets, watched in quiet dismay as the film student, a transient soul seeking inspiration, ventured into the ancient woods. The day prior, she had visited the sacred stones within the forest, their mystical significance known only to those versed in the supernatural rhythms that pulsed through the trees. In an impulsive act, driven by a desire to unravel the forest's enigmatic energies, the old lady had shifted the sacred stones. Unbeknownst to her, this seemingly innocuous action would set in motion a chain of events that would plunge the forest into an ominous mystery. The film student, drawn by tales of the eerie forest's mystical allure, had rented a room from the old lady's home, an abode that stood on the fringes of the ancient woods. With camera in hand and creative aspirations ablaze, the student set out to capture the essence of the forest, unaware of the supernatural currents that now flowed in response to the displaced stones. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest bathed in an ethereal twilight, the film student ventured deeper into the woods. The shadows, no longer bound by the usual constraints of reality, seemed to dance with an unsettling life of their own. Unseen whispers echoed through the ancient trees, warning of an impending disturbance in the delicate balance that safeguarded the forest's secrets. When evening descended and the film student failed to return to the old lady's home, concern blossomed into an urgent plea for help. The old lady, sensing the gravity of the situation, contacted the police, her weathered face etched with a mix of remorse and anxiety. The police, skeptical of tales involving eerie forests and supernatural occurrences, nonetheless embarked on a search mission. The ancient woods, now shrouded in an otherworldly haze, resisted the intrusion of mortal investigators. The sacred stones, displaced by the old lady's curiosity, cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance in protest. The forest, sensing the imbalance created by the old lady's actions, held its secrets close. Each step taken by the police led them deeper into a labyrinth of shifting shadows and unseen forces. The air, thick with a palpable tension, whispered of an ancient pact violated and an entity disturbed. As the search intensified, the eerie forest revealed glimpses of its supernatural wrath. Unseen hands brushed against the investigators, and spectral voices murmured warnings that echoed through the trees. The displaced sacred stones, now imbued with the restless energy of the forest, seemed to guide the police toward an ominous revelation. In a clearing bathed in an unnatural glow, the police discovered the film student's camera, a relic of an expedition cut short by forces beyond mortal comprehension. The footage, a surreal tapestry of spectral manifestations and shifting shadows, documented the student's descent into the heart of the eerie forest. The old lady, haunted by the unintended consequences of her actions, watched as the police grappled with the forest's supernatural wrath. The ancient woods, wounded by a disruption in its delicate balance, whispered warnings of an impending reckoning. As the police delved deeper into the heart of the eerie forest, the atmosphere became increasingly charged with an otherworldly energy. The trees, their branches contorted in silent protest, seemed to bear witness to the intrusion of mortal beings into a realm governed by forces beyond their understanding. Guided by the spectral echoes of the displaced sacred stones, the police stumbled upon an ancient grove, a place where the veil between the mundane and the supernatural was thinnest. The air crackled with an arcane electricity, and unseen eyes observed their every move. In the center of the grove stood the old lady, her demeanor transformed from that of a guardian to a remorseful participant in the unfolding mystery. She confessed to the police, her words laced with a mixture of regret and revelation. The displaced stones, she explained, were conduits of the forest's ancient magic, disturbed by her misguided curiosity. As the old lady spoke, the forest responded with a visceral intensity. Shadows coalesced into ethereal forms, and whispers carried tales of an ancient pact that had been disrupted. The film student, drawn by the allure of the eerie forest, had unwittingly become a pawn in a supernatural game. The police, now confronted with the tangible evidence of spectral disturbances and the old lady's admission, faced a dilemma. The forest, offended by the intrusion, demanded a restitution, a choice that would determine the fate of the film student and the delicate equilibrium of the ancient woods. A spectral figure emerged from the shifting shadows, an arbiter of the forest's will. The police, under the watchful gaze of the ancient entity, were presented with two options: sacrifice a cherished memory to restore the balance, or face the unrestrained wrath of the supernatural forces that now stirred within the grove. Torn between the rational skepticism of their training and the palpable forces at play, the police hesitated. The film student's fate hung in the balance, and the eerie forest, wounded and angered, awaited the resolution of the trespass against its ancient pact. In a moment of collective understanding, the police chose to offer a shared memory, an emblem of their unity and shared humanity. The ancient entity, appeased by the gesture, absorbed the essence of the sacrifice, and the forest's supernatural tempest began to subside. As the shadows receded, the film student, seemingly untouched by the passage of time, emerged from the depths of the grove. The eerie forest, its balance restored, reclaimed its enigmatic tranquility. The displaced sacred stones, now returned to their rightful places, pulsed with a subdued energy. The old lady, burdened by the consequences of her actions, thanked the police for their role in resolving the supernatural crisis. The officers, forever marked by the encounter with the eerie forest, departed with a newfound awareness of the mysteries that lurked beyond the veil of the mundane.